Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Hasbro Star Wars The Force Awakens 3 3/4 inch 3-pack featuring Jakku Scavenger, Unkar Slug, and BB-8. Alright you guys, as you can see here from the packaging, several months ago we did a review on the 2-pack that came with the Rebels cartoon versions of Ahsoka, Tano, and Darth Vader. And this pack has the same sort of packaging, same style. Usually you get 2 figures in these 2 packs, but we're getting 3 figures here. And the packaging does seem a little bit wasteful. It has quite a bit of cardboard, but you do get a nice image there on the side of the 3 characters. And at the top, it says Star Wars The Force Awakens and gives us a look at Kylo Ren. The back has some information here about BB-8, Unkar Slug, and Jakku Scavenger. If you'd like to pause and read any of these, feel free to do so. And on the side, we get a look at some other offerings that are available in the Hasbro Star Wars line, and then the same image there of Scavengers and BB-8. That scene right there just never happened in the film, not like that anyway. You basically see Teedo capturing BB-8. Like we saw in the film, he was captured already, but we never saw that happen where he actually captured him, nor where there was another thug that was involved in his capture. So this could just be purely Hasbro fiction, made to sell the figure. Or it could be something that was in the film, I guess, that was maybe cut. There's not much going on the sides. That's basically an extension of the rest of that image there. And this just says Disney right there. Down at the bottom, you just get like the UPC and all that stuff right there. And that's the top. So I'm going to go ahead and get these guys out of the packaging, and then we'll take a closer look and see what each of these figures is like. All right, you guys, now I have these out of the box, and it doesn't look like a really bad set of figures. They're actually pretty cool looking. But the real reason that I bought this set was for BB-8. As of yet, Hasbro has not offered a 3 3/4 inch scale BB-8 figure in the main line of basic figures. The only way you can get him is by buying this 3-pack, which is the least expensive way to get him because these retail at $14.99. You can also get BB-8 in what is, I believe, a Kohl's exclusive that has several repack figures all in one box with BB-8, and it's like $50. Or the third option you have is to get the Millennium Falcon, which also has a BB-8 figure and has Chewbacca and Finn as well. So this is the least expensive way to get him. I have heard that there are a couple variations of the BB-8 figure. According to the date stamp on the box, the one that I have here, I believe, is the most recent BB-8 that has been offered, and the stamp on the back says 53201. So that should be the very latest one. And I guess the main difference between the two BB-8s is that the first one had more sloppy deco and was also like lighter weight, I believe. This one's supposed to be a little more weighty and I guess painted a little bit more nicely. So anyway, we're going to look at all 3 figures here and see how they stack up. So let's go ahead and start off with Teedo. At least on the package it's called Jakku Scavenger, but in the film, Rey refers to him as Teedo.
Beat it, beat it, no one wants to be the beat it.
That's just Teedo imitating his brother again. He is the one that is riding the Lugabeast, and he has BB-8 captured in a net that he's dragging along. The figure looks pretty good. It has a very nice sculpt. Paintwork on it is pretty good. It's pretty simple. There's not much of a wash to give it more of a dirtied look, but the coloring looks to be quite nice. Figure definitely has a very alien look about it, which is quite cool. 5 points of articulation and a couple of accessories that come in this set that seem to kind of be shared between all of the characters. Give you a close-up here of Jakku Scavenger, and you can see he's wearing a mask. Be interesting to see what his alien face looks like. It almost looks like he could be like a green ET, doesn't he? With that long head. No, probably not. But it's still a cool look. The mask is pretty nice. It seems like a lot of the aliens on Jakku wear masks. It's almost dressed like a mummy or something. All these bandages and stuff. Definitely a scavenger look to him. And he's got like a bandolier crosses over his chest. And on the back, there's like a little pack of some sort. There's a little pouch down here. And then he's got like these little sandals or something on his feet, which is interesting. In the way of articulation, you get a ball joint here at the head, and it gets a good range of movement. You can move it around quite a bit. You get swivels at both of the shoulders, and then swivels at both of the legs. So, basic articulation, but, I think it's plentiful for this particular figure, unless they make a Lugabeast creature, that in which case, we'll need one that has ball jointed hips. Next figure we have is Unkar's Thug, which is one of Unkar Plot's henchmen that we saw in the movie that tried to steal BB-8 from Rey, along with another guy. And the figure does look pretty good. As you can see, it also has a mask with goggles. It's got what looks like some sort of an aspirator. And the costume, very simplistic, but it does have that deserty look to it. Nice sculpt, nice paint. It really does look quite good. I still think that a wash would have been quite nice to bring out some extra grit and detail to the figure, but it wasn't meant to be. You get basic articulation and, again, a couple of shared accessories that seem to be more specific to this figure. In the way of articulation, we have a ball joint here at the head, and it does get a pretty good range of movement, just like that. You got swivels here at both of these shoulders, and then swivels at both of the hips. And they don't go up all the way, not as much as they did on the Jakku Scavenger, but I guess it's enough. All in all, the costume is quite good. I think it is very nicely sculpted and pretty nicely painted, but again, an extra wash would have brought out more of the detail. Now, he does come packed holding onto this pistol, so I'm assuming that this is specifically for him. And yeah, pretty decent. It's got a kind of a gunmetal look to it. And we'll just get it there in his hand. And you can give it to him just like that. Now, the box set the figures come in also did show him holding a staff. And we do get the staff in the box. And it's quite simplistic. It's basically all just one color, gunmetal gray. And it does seem to be pretty rigid to me. So, that's good. So now the Thug can hog both of the accessories that come in the pack. Meanwhile, poor Teedo doesn't get anything. And then finally, the reason that I purchased this set, best for last, BB-8. As you can see, it is very clean looking. There's not a whole lot of, it doesn't look like there's any dirt to him actually. But the colors that they did give him, the white is pretty vibrant and the orange and grays and silvers are pretty nicely done. And basically, BB-8 has a really nicely done sculpt for the most part. The head part of it, I think, looks very nice. It's like little details that make up his viewer right there. So it looks like they did a pretty good job sculpting those minor details. The antennas, you can see them here. One's a little bit bent, but hey. Some of them that I saw in the store were not bent, but this one overall just seemed to have the best paint application from what I could tell. The body looks, very nice. Again, very, very clean. Too clean, but it's still painted quite well. I really like the shades that they used of the colors here, like the orange and the gray. It's got a little bit of a metallic look to those areas. And it does have like a little flat spot here at the bottom with a peg. So if you wanted to peg it somewhere, you could do that. And because the bottom is flat, it sits very easily, which is different from the 6-inch figure, which doesn't have the flat spot, and you really have to balance in order to get it to stay standing. There are 2 points of articulation with BB-8, the same as the 6-inch scale figure. Basically, you have the head, which you can swivel around and move up and down a little bit, and the head is also on another peg that, you can barely see right there, but kind of extends down into his body, which, supplies the movement of the head, all the way around like that. But other than that, I don't think you can do a whole lot else in terms of articulation with BB-8, so I think it's pretty good. All right, you guys, and now comparison of the 3 3/4 inch scale BB-8 along with both versions of the 6-inch scale Black Series BB-8. We have the initial cleaner version there in the center, and then to its right we have the second version, which is the more dirtied up looking extra paint detail version of the character. As you can see, the 3 3/4 inch scale version is a perfectly clean figure. There's no signs of any sort of paint detail on it. It's just spotless. And as far as actual sculpted detail goes, it looks like it's about the same to me, but since there is no extra paint to give it more weathering, it just looks a lot more bland. But looking up close at the figure, you can definitely tell that the sculpted detail is there. I personally would have preferred to have seen a little bit more paint on the figure just to give it a little bit more of a dirtied up look, especially since the pack that this figure is in is on Jakku, so you would imagine there to be some dirt or something on it. But nonetheless, it's not a bad figure. It's just not as detailed as its 6-inch counterparts. So Hasbro does love including these crazy accessories with their 2 packs of figures, with all the figures, really, basic figures. And we get this launching mechanism right here, and it looks decent. I mean, there's a good amount of detail on it. It's got like a handle there, but I don't think we're gonna be able to get our figures to hold it. It just looks like it's gonna be way too big, but hey, I'm gonna try. Yeah, there's just no way he's gonna balance with this, you guys. That's just insane. At that point, why even put the handle on it like that? Figures can't hold it. So you get these two missiles that are connected to a net, which is kind of plasticky, and you plug them in to the launcher, just like that, and they shoot, and then you launch them by pressing them together. Ugh. Was not very successful there. You got to kind of do them at the same time so that they take off at the same time. Kind of. So yeah, I guess the idea is to try and replicate when Teedo had BB-8 in the net. So I guess you want to launch it onto BB-8. That's really hard to do, but hey, I'm not afraid to try, so let's give it a shot. I guess you could do something like that. Part of what makes it hard to launch the missiles is that this piece that sticks out right here gets in the way when you're trying to squeeze the missiles. So that's kind of lame. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Hasbro Star Wars The Force Awakens 3 3/4 inch 3-pack featuring Teedo, BB-8, and Unkar Thug. All in all, you guys, it's not a terrible set. That's not to say it's a great set, because it ain't. If you're like me, then the BB-8 figure is most likely the only reason you're going to pick up this set, and it's really the best thing about this set. The Teedo figure and the Unkar Slug figure are, they're decent. They're not bad figures at all. They have good sculpt work. They have nice paint overall, and 5 points of articulation, a couple accessories. I like them, but, BB-8 is certainly the star of this set. The extra gimmicky action feature launcher thing with the net, it's just not that great at all. I think I would have preferred just a regular net that they could use to capture BB-8 rather than a launcher. But all in all, it's a decent set. I don't regret picking it up. I'm not sure if I'm going to be keeping the two Thug figures. I kind of like the Jakku Scavengers. I think they're pretty cool. So I may just very well keep them. But BB-8 is definitely staying with me. I am happy to have BB-8, and I think he looks good. On a scale of 1 to 5 stars, I'm going to go ahead and give this set 3 stars. Could it have been better? Yeah. But at $15, what are you going to expect? Alright, my friends, if you enjoyed this video, then I do encourage you to please like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this set, whether or not you're planning on picking it up. Be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and as always, I want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Till next time, bye-bye.